Welcome, our third edition of Decision Pints with a special guest, Matheiu Choux, and featuring Sockeye Brewery's Galena Gold and Double Dagger IPA. Cheers to you, Matheiu.
Cheers, Jason.
So you came to Boise, started a restaurant, started a bakery, started a nightclub, started a tech company, software platform. How did you get started?
Well, I moved to Boise when I was 22 to open a little French cafe and bakery, which I did. It was 2002. And we served French food made from scratch daily and with croissants and baguettes and all kinds of great breads for 12 years at the restaurant. And after starting the bakery, we started doing wholesale, and that was with Gaston's Bakery. And that's where we've taken most of our energy and product lines are in the wholesale baking now.
Awesome. And it's really interesting because we would so love going to their restaurant and eating there, and then when we went to, I think it was Whole Foods after they opened, and we saw your bread was there, and then we found out that it's everywhere. It's in every good restaurant in Boise around the area, and now it's shipped all around the country. Huh?
Yeah, that's what we do. We do everything from scratch. We haven't changed the formulas, recipes, or the procedure of all the breads and croissants we do. We do still handcrafted, fresh daily. And we just do quite a bit of it.
Wow.
So to high-end restaurants and markets, supermarkets, hotels, and things like that.
Wow. So at one point you decided, I'm going all in. This bakery is on the path upward. Tell us a little bit about that and how you were comfortable making the decision that I'm just going to grow this bakery and invest heavily into it.
Well, what happened is the wholesale started after the restaurant, and we had the bakery in the basement of the restaurant. And eventually, we outgrew that place. And once we outgrew the basement, we moved to a bigger warehouse where we could have more ovens and more space to bake and bigger bench and tables to shape breads and croissants. And once we had that done, then that really took a lot of my focus and my energy, and that's really what I wanted to do. And the restaurant was more... I had the restaurant for 12 years at that time, so we decided to finish the lease and on a really good note after 12 years of running a great little bistro downtown.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved your commercials that were on the radio. It was your voice. And now the bakery has, over the last 2 years, I know you've really been consumed traveling a lot, getting new customers all over the place, traveling to trade shows, and also making deliveries and working every job in the place. So tell us a little bit about your daily life in the bakery.
Well, it varies a lot. So we use the bakery. That's the great thing about a bakery is we can use it at night. We use it 24 hours a day. We always have someone working there, 24/7, wow. Between baking, packing, delivering, and so we bake at night for everything that is sold fresh in Boise in the morning, and we use the bakery during the day with the same recipes, the same processes, with items that we freeze and sell to distributors, and those get distributed out of state.
Wow.
So.
Wow. I mean, it's just
that's what we do.
Just 24/7, ongoing all the time. That's great. And we love the baker. So glad that we can go and get Gaston's bread just about anywhere, or desserts. But you've also started a wine training application geared towards restaurant waitstaff, tipsforvino.com. So how did that come about?
Well, that came about when we had the restaurant. And so I'm from Burgundy in France, grew up in a restaurant. My family owned restaurants in France for many generations. And so eating and wine has always been part of our daily life. And when we moved here and started buying wine and working with staff, we always noticed that they didn't have the exposure to wine that we did back in France. So they needed more training than what we would know just from being around it. And we could not find a good place to get that training. So that's when we decided to start a little application. First, we thought of that just for us, a little application to help train waiters and waitresses to sell wine and pairing and things like that.
Wow, awesome. And so you actually produced the lessons, came up with, invented the questions, the evaluation. How long did that process take, and what was it like, running a bakery, running a restaurant, and then now adding this?
Well, it took many years, and we've always had the training for the restaurant, but it took a long time to being able to put it on the platforms that would be suitable for other customers. So the idea is to sell membership. That's what we're doing to other restaurants, that they pay monthly to have access to the content and the questions, and have their staff being certified tipsforvino.com wine training.
Wow, that's great. And so, in the restaurant business, wine being so high margin, I mean, it's interesting that it's not just part of the everyday course of every restaurant that has wine.
Yeah, that was my surprise because it's such a great item for a restaurant to sell, because you don't have to make it from scratch. You just buy it and resell it. There's a very long shelf life, and so there's no waste on it. So it's really a good item to sell with a very high margin.
And a beautiful subscription recurring revenue service. So pretty exciting, and certainly glad that you did settle in Boise and do all the great things that you've done, and we appreciate you being here. And cheers to closing out the third episode of Decision Pints.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.